My name is Keisha, and I would like to welcome you to the beginning of my, well, kind of the beginning of my IVF journey. I wanted to do this to be able to look back on it and see how everything was during every step of this journey for me, and kind of a keepsake. And also with the hopes of, at some point, in some way, somehow, to be an inspiration or some hope, just something to keep somebody else going that's going through this process, to let you know that there are people out there who are experiencing the same things that you are. You're not alone in this, and that many women before us have done it, and you can do it too. So, moving on. So, just to give you a little background about me, and my story is, I got married to hubby December of 2007. I will put a picture up. That's us. And not long after we got married, we started trying to conceive, because we knew from the beginning that we both wanted children. So we started trying to conceive very soon after our marriage, and for about a year and a half, it wasn't quite working out. We had a tough time. We had a few miscarriages, and one really was tough for me, because I had gotten all the way to 8 weeks. I had an ultrasound, and then it just didn't work out, and lost the baby. It was very very tough. But miscarriage in general is so not something I would wish on my enemy. So went through that and decided, okay, this is enough's enough. We need some help. So I went to a fertility specialist that I know of, because I, fortunately work at a hospital, so I'm around doctors all the time. So I went to, somebody I was very comfortable with, and told them my story and said, do what we got to do. So they suggested that we do some blood work and everything. They looked at all my blood work. They looked at all my tests. They made sure that my tubes were patent, and that wasn't an issue. So my tubes are open, working fine. My blood work, my hormones, everything is fine. So I've been labeled unknown infertility. So from there, they decided, let's try Clomid. So they started me on Clomid, and my very first cycle, I conceived. I carried out an entire pregnancy, and I had my wonderful son in January of 2010. So I was very excited after a long time of trying and failures, but very blessed to have my son. But now, moving on. So I wanted to have another kid, so that my son would have a sibling to share his childhood with, because I cherish that as one of my most valuable memories in childhood with my sisters. I have 2 sisters, no brothers, but my dad's not happy about that. But I loved growing up and experiencing life as we matured with my sisters. And my husband has a sister, and they're the best of friends even until today. So I wanted to allow my son to have that opportunity. So here we are, trying again. And I knew it wouldn't be easy the second time, because it was tough the first time. So I believe I waited about 8 months after I had my son to start pursuing trying again. So went on Clomid again, and that they kept me on for about 8 cycles. And you can just imagine the heartbreak every single month of 8 cycles when your menstrual cycle comes on. It was just it was hard to take month after month after month. So I just went to, my specialist, and I said, something's got to give. Like, this is a lot. So she agreed that we needed to move on to the next step, which was IUI. IUI is a process too. It's tough. Everything's about timing. It's really taxing on the mind, but we did it, and had 3 failed attempts. There was no pregnancy at any of the IUI procedures. So that was also devastating at the end of every month with no cycle. With the cycle and no success. So here we are. After the IUIs didn't work, the next step, IVF. So I immediately jumped in, and I'm still fairly young. Well, to a lot of people I'm young. But I figured, I'm not getting any younger. I'm 30 now. And I don't know how long it's going to take for my body to get it together. So I figured I needed to jump on this, as soon as I could. And, my son he'll be 4, come 2 months from now. And I just didn't want him and his sibling to be too far apart in age so that they wouldn't be able to relate. But whatever. Back to my story, because that's what you're watching this for. IVF. So they started my process with my cycle. So today is November 27th of 2013, and my cycle started November 1st, the very first day of the month. They wanted me to start birth control day 2. So November 2nd, I started birth control, and they wanted me to take that all the way until November 22nd. So November 22nd was my last day of birth control. So for 21 days, I took the birth control. They wanted me to start Lupron on the 16th. So November 16th, I started Lupron injections into my belly. So I brought goodies to show you what I've been using. So this is my Lupron. Let me see. You can see it. I know it reads backwards, but that's my Lupron. It's a little bottle, and I've been injecting that into my belly with this little syringe, the TB syringe. It's a pretty fine needle, so it's not bad. If you have a little phobia of needles, then I can imagine it being super tough for you to go through this process, because it's a bunch of sticking yourself, but it's all worth it in the end. So that's my Lupron, and I started at the 16th, like I said, and I've been, taking that up until now. They started me on 10 units. So I've been taking 10 units in my abdomen every morning. Sorry. So 10 units abdomen every morning. I went the 23rd. That was the weekend that just passed, to get a baseline blood work and ultrasound, and they were pleased with my ultrasound, and they said my blood work looked good, so they wanted me to start today. Today we are starting the stimulation. So the stimulation is going to be Follistim, and they have they've assigned me to do 175 units in the abdomen every night, and I'll show you my wonderful kit with that. More goodies. So here is my Follistim case. It's a wonderful, cute little case that they give you with all your goodies. I keep my alcohol swabs in the top there. Here's the injection pen, which I love, because you can dial up your dose so you get it accurate. It's pretty cool. And then all those little pink things are my needles that attach to the tip of the pen, which I'm sure you are familiar with, or will be familiar with, if you are taking Follistim. So that's my Follistim kit. And of course I have my handy dandy sharps container to put all of my needles in. yeah, that's all the goodies that I have for you now because I haven't started anything else. So since starting the follistim this evening, because tonight was day 1 of the follistim, they've decreased my dose of Lupron to 5 units. So I take 5 units of Lupron in the morning in the belly, and then I take 175 units of the follistim at night in the belly. And I've also started on the antibiotic doxycycline. Hubby and I have to take the antibiotic twice a day for 7 days. And yeah, not very happy about that because all I'm going to say is I'm going to eat a bunch of yogurt. I'm trying to steer far from yeast infections. So yogurt, it's going to be my best friend for the next 7 days. And then I am supposed to go back for blood work on the upcoming Saturday. So November 30th is the day I will go back for blood work to see how I am responding to the stimulation. So sometime Saturday after my appointment, I'll be back with another video to update you. Also, after my blood work and ultrasound and everything, the last Saturday, and we had the discussion over the phone to start the follistim. They also mentioned that in my husband's semen analysis, because he had to go for a semen analysis as well as part of the process, that they were not exactly happy with his semen morphology. They didn't specify what exactly they weren't happy with. They just said, you know, we're not very happy with his semen morphology. So they have converted our approach to fertilizing the eggs from the conventional method of just placing a bunch of sperm in the presence of an egg and letting it do its thing, to now we're doing IVF with ICSI, which is intracytoplasmic semen injection, or something to that to that effect. They're going to take the sperm and they're going to put one single sperm inside of the egg. All of it doesn't matter to me what approach they take, as long as I have wonderfully developing embryos. That's all I'm looking forward to. So that's it. They did say that if everything keeps going well as it is, then we should be looking at egg retrieval somewhere around December 6th, 7th, or 8th. So please stay tuned. I hope this was helpful. I know it was a little bit of a rant, but I hope it was helpful. And I'll keep you updated as much as I can.